Good morning. Let's get into it. We'll give you guys a second to hop on. I said let's get into it, but clearly what I meant was let's not get into it. Let's just see if anybody jumps on. Cool. Crushing it, as always, guys. If you live in New England, we seem to be getting some rain today, but if you're where my in-laws are, snow. Neat. Go almost May. All right. Injuries, especially the dumb injuries. Let's talk about those first. So, and by dumb injuries, I mean like you got up from the couch wrong, you sneezed and your neck hurts, you slept funny and you can't look to the left. You picked something up and your shoulder out of nowhere just hurts. You picked a kid up and your back hurts. I'm not talking about like the big injuries, like you wiped out on a ski slope or you fell downstairs or you stepped and tore something. Those are clearly more intense injuries. Those should be assessed by your primary care or an orthopedist before you go into any sort of rehab program. And you don't get me wrong, you're more than happy to be assessed. Like, we're welcome to be assessed by a physical therapist. We have the tools and necessity to be able to say, yeah, this is something we can treat right away, or no, you should definitely go get that checked out by somebody in a different field that has a little more knowledge on, say, the internal workings of where things should be attached and how they should be working properly. But those little injuries, those ones where you like tweak your back a little bit, or you tweak your shoulder a little bit, or you tweak your neck a little bit, or you had meetings for an entire week and you sat and all of a sudden like your low back is just heavy and it radiates right along your hips and you just like, it just hurts to move, or you sit on your foot the wrong way on the couch and then your ankle is a little bit sore. So these injuries come and go, right? We all have these injuries throughout the course of our day, throughout the course of our life, all the things. And most of the time they resolve themselves pretty quickly. A day or two, we stretch it out, we walk it out. But when they happen more than once, oh, that's funny, my neck hurts. My neck hurt this way 6 weeks ago. Went away, came back. 6 weeks later, went away, came back. Oh, my back. This is just my old back injury. Gets flared up sometimes. I heard it 20 years ago, and every once in a while it just talks to me. And I just have to take a bunch of ibuprofen, or I have to heat it, or I have to ice it, and it goes away, and then it flares up. It goes away, and then it flares up. Those injuries are problematic because they come back and they get you. So say I have a painful shoulder, right? And so when I reach up over my head, it hurts. Okay, reach up overhead, it hurts. So two things I'm going to do because I don't want it to hurt. One, I'm going to stop reaching up over my head. I'm going to move everything down to a more appropriate height for not bothering my shoulder pain. But two, I'm going to do this when I need to reach up because it's a lot easier to lift the whole shoulder and reach up than it is to reach up and have pain. Okay, no problem. I've figured out a way to avoid my pain. That must be a good thing, right? So I'm not having the pain. It'll probably go away, no problem. The problem is in those 6 weeks, 8 weeks that you're trying to avoid the shoulder pain, you're using that upper trap in a way that it's not really designed to be used. So you're creating the wrong movement pattern for the right motion. So your body is learning a new way to do things that isn't normal, natural, or the appropriate use of your muscles, so that you are creating a movement pattern deficit in that shoulder. So when you think about your shoulder socket and you think about your arm as it comes into it, here, we'll do this side. So you think about your arm, and that's like your humeral head, so the head of your shoulder that comes into that socket. The normal movement pattern is a roll and a glide. So it rolls into the socket, it glides down, and that's that normal movement of your shoulder. So as your shoulder comes up, it rolls into the socket, glides down with your shoulder blade, and then you can do all the things above here. Now, if you have, say, your pecs are really tight because you lifted a bunch of mulch over the weekend and you got everything tight, and that humeral head marches forward just a little bit, So this is my normal space, right? So I've got my humeral head sitting in my normal space where it can roll and glide and be happy, but it marches forward just a little bit. It's gonna impinge, it's gonna pinch on that socket. So every time I go to roll it, instead of rolling it, I'm gonna smash it. Ow, that hurts. I don't want to smash it. I don't want to smash the little tendons and ligaments in there. I don't want to smash the nerves that are running through my shoulder. I don't want to smash anything. The bursa, that can get mad. So instead of smashing it, my body goes, oh, we'll just lift that up. And then we go together, right? So I lift with my upper trap, and then we can go. Look at that. All I have to do is tilt my body entirely to the other side, shrink up my neck, and then I can do all the things I need to up here without that pinch. And then all of these get tight, all of this gets tight, and you create a movement pattern deficit. Your body wants to work in the most efficient manner that your muscles are designed to be in. Your muscles are designed to be in a very happy place. When they're in a happy place, they work a lot better. You have a lot fewer injuries. And so you want to get back to that natural happy position. Below this, I'm going to put some shoulder exercises that will help you if you're getting that pinch right at the top here, if you're getting those shoulder impingement symptoms, which can be like a pinch right at the top here when you reach up, or maybe a little bit of a radiating pain down the arm. Below here, I'll put a little exercise program that you can do, just a couple stretches and a couple exercises that can help you sort of realign those. Get your shoulder back where it should be so that that motion is pain-free. Let's see, what's another common one? Knee pain. Knee pain is another common injury. People, especially this time of year, it's beautiful weather. We get back on our bikes. I love the road bike. I love the road bike season, but that's like prime pump for patellofemoral. We've been sitting all winter. You get those tight hamstrings. You get those weak medial, vastus medialis muscles. And all of a sudden when you're going downstairs, it hurts a little bit, or when you're pedaling, it hurts a little bit. You get that like inner knee pain. And that's usually a deficit of the VMO, the vastus medialis oblique, versus like very, exuberant lateral quads. So your outside of your leg is working a lot harder than the inside of your leg. The inside of your leg has a smaller muscle, but it does the last 15 degrees of knee extension. And so if that is where you're pedaling, doing those 15 degrees, it's going to burn out quicker. And it's going to also pull your kneecap because your leg still has to do that motion. You're 15 miles into a bike ride, your leg still has to get you home. But you'll end up using your lateral quads, which is a good, it's a good mechanism. It's a good beefy muscle. But if you're not tracking your kneecap properly, that's when you'll get some pain, some patellofemoral pain, maybe a little tendonitis in that patella tendon. And again, below here, I'm going to put a couple exercises that you can do to sort of work on that VMO, and it's just end range extension. So one is in rotation. So you externally rotate your leg and you do that, lift your leg up off the table. One is in standing with a little ball behind your leg. You'll see them below. I realize my fingers don't do it justice. And it's the whole point is just the last little end range of extension on that knee to work that inner, it's like just on the inside upper part of your knee, to work that VMO. And let's see, what other questions did you guys come up with? You guys had great questions. So one was about working your shoulder pain. One was about knee pain. I'm going to put in a hamstring stretch extravaganza. There's like 5 of them. Pick the one that works for you the best. So when we sit all day, we've got this sort of forward flex posture. So here we are working on our computers. We're tight in the pecs, which can lead to shoulder pain. Our knees are stretched all the way. So we're not really putting our legs in that extended position very much, just sort of, again, work that VMO. And because our knees are bent, our hamstrings are sort of working all the time. The hamstring is the knee flexor. And so they're sort of shortened all the time. You're sitting on your butt with your knee in that position. At no point are you really stretching that hamstring, the back of your thigh, the back of the knee, so it crosses the knee joint and it sits right on your sits bones. This is now my leg and my butt today. Cool. And so because we're in this position all of the time, this nice little bent position, I don't know why my finger doesn't want to do it. It can get really tight in your hamstrings. So I'm going to include some really good hamstring stretches here too. There is a variety of them. Some are sitting, some are standing, some are lying down. Pick the one that works best for you. If it just shows one side, do it on the other leg too. Stretching your hamstrings is never going to be a bad thing. Obviously, if it hurts, don't do it. If it hurts, don't do it. If it hurts, don't do it. Call me and we'll figure out why it hurts. Maybe your pelvis is out of alignment. Maybe your knee is arthritic or not stretching. Maybe you have a bursitis going on. Maybe you have an ankle problem. But if it hurts, just don't do it, okay? You don't need to push yourself through the pain. That's not what we're about anymore. And, this is a good one. Somebody asked a question about what they can do as they approach their due date. So I know we talk a lot about like parents and pain and like, I threw my back out picking my kid up and all of that. But what about the people who don't have their babies yet? How can they prepare their bodies for having their babies? There's a great posture, like new parent posture strengthening tips in the blog section. I'm pretty sure. If it's not there, if you can't find it on the website, then let me know and I'll send it to you. That is for moms and dads. Okay, so you are going to find yourself here a lot holding a new baby. That is that creepy shoulder up position that we talked about, because that's where your body doesn't know how to hold a baby. And your low back is going to get really sore. So these posture tips help work on getting your pelvis stronger, your shoulders stronger, getting all those postural muscles stronger. So that is a great handout to just start doing in the weeks leading up to the baby. And the weeks after the baby are here, if you can, awesome. If you find you're getting back pain or a little tweak here or there, do them as you can. It's a busy time, so give yourself some grace. But the exercises I'm going to put below are also for our mamas who are about to have a kiddo come forth from their bits and pieces. And what did I put in there? Deep squats. Neat. That sounds like just the thing you want to do right before you have a baby, like a deep squat, right? But it does help open your hips, open your pelvic floor in a very, very comfortable way. There are I put 3 examples on there. One is like an all the way to the floor deep squat. If you've been squatting this whole time and your body is ready for an all the way deep squat, cool. Do that one. If your body is not ready for that deep squat, feet at 45 degrees, big wide feet, drop that fanny all the way an inch or 2 off the floor, then don't do that. Don't do that. If you have like a low chair or an ottoman or a block or a yoga ball or something, you can deep squat onto a yoga ball. You can sit down and get that posture with support. That's okay too. Come up and down. Have your partner help you. Have the wall help you. Have somebody from work help you. There is a deep squat that you can do with the yoga ball behind your back. So you do a squat and hold, and then come up with the yoga ball behind your back. Plenty of support. If you find that you're on the floor, get into all fours and do some cat cows. There's a picture of cat cows on there too. And that's pretty much arch and crunch on all fours on the floor. Arch and crunch. So pretty much think of it as bringing your belly to the floor, bringing your belly away from the floor. You'll see the picture. It's a really easy, self-explanatory one. Do it next to the couch so that when you need to get up, you can grab the couch to get up, because it's really hard to get on and off the floor when you're at the end of your pregnancy. When you start to do these, tell a friend, I'm going to start to do these. If I need help getting off the floor, I'm going to holler at ya, and you're going to come get me. And another one of those good deep squats is like holding on to something and squatting down. So holding on to a banister at the bottom of the stairs, something that you can really hold on to that's not going to move. Holding on to like a bed rail, again, something that's not going to move. Don't go holding onto a kitchen chair. You're more powerful than a kitchen chair right now. Unless maybe like you have like a large human sitting in a kitchen chair waiting to help you get off the floor if that's where you end up, in which case give it a try. Be smart about it. Don't do a deep squat holding onto something that could potentially come with you. Okay? Strong, stable surface. And the last one that I have on there is diaphragmatic breathing. So diaphragmatic breathing is good for everyone. Great for post-COVID. So if you had COVID and you're having trouble getting those big deep breaths, this is the one for you. Amazing for mamas. Not a mama yet, but growing a human, awesome. Having a kid in a couple days, awesome. Had a kid 20 minutes ago, 3 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. Your pelvic floor had a part to do in that, and your pelvic floor has a part to do in diaphragmatic breathing. Diaphragmatic breathing feels so counterintuitive when you start doing it. All it is breathing from your diaphragm. But your diaphragm is involved in pressure on your insides. And so when you bear down and hold your breath, you increase the pressure in your intra-abdominal cavity. And, you know, that's when you can accidentally force out like a toot or a little tinkle. Or you can put a lot of pressure on your heart. Not a thing you want to do. So diaphragmatic breathing is going to be a really good friend of yours. Let's see if I can get this. Okay, so diaphragmatic breathing. The very first thing, I realize the picture shows an inhale first. I like to start with an exhale because you can get the feel of it. Put your hands on your belly. Blow out, push in. Breathe in. Fill up your belly. Obviously, you're filling up your lower lungs, but I want you to feel like you're pushing your belly out, okay? And then push in and breathe out. As you breathe out, I want you to pull up your pelvic floor, okay? So think about we're squeezing the air out. So we are compressing in, we are lifting up, and the air is expelling. As you breathe in, I want you to relax your pelvic floor, expand your belly, and make some room for all of that air. All right? So breathe out. Breathe in. That is a tricky one. If you need to go find a YouTube video about how to do it, do that. It takes some practice. You are not inherently used to working your pelvic floor when you breathe. Now, does your pelvic floor work when you breathe? Yes. Does it take some concentration to figure out how to get them to be on the same team when you want them to be because you're trying to suck in your stomach as you breathe out air, which feels counterintuitive? Yeah. Does it take some practice? It does. Break it into parts. So start with the exhale and push in on your belly. Hands on your belly. All right? Do 15, 30, 200 of those where you're just breathing. Your pelvic floor will sort of get the idea of what it's supposed to do. But once your brain understands the combination of air out, belly in, air in, belly out, almost like you're flossing. As your brain gets to understand that combination, then you can add the pelvic floor in. Okay, so it's hard. It's hard. For people who are having trouble getting that deep breath in, don't even worry about the pelvic floor. That will be beneficial for you, but focus on that later. Just work on that diaphragmatic breathing. When we breathe, we do not breathe from our shoulders, all right? So when you breathe in, shoulders up is all accessory muscles. So those are not your breathing muscles. Your diaphragm is your breathing muscle. These are cheating muscles that say, I can't fill up the bottom of my lungs, so I'll try and make some more space up here. As you breathe in and out, your shoulders should be still. So try and do this in front of a mirror. See if you can do it without doing that. So instead you want to go, nothing. Yay. Um, yeah. All right. That's all I got. I think that's all I have for today. If you have more questions, send them to me. We covered knees, we covered shoulders, we covered stretching the hamstrings, we covered diaphragmatic breathing. I will put those below so you guys can have access to them. And I love this. I love answering your questions. Keep them coming. I'm happy to do it. This brings me great joy. And yeah, let me share my knowledge. All right. Bye, guys. Have a good week. It's only Tuesday. Sweet. Love that.